All right, let's change gears and let's talk about whether now is the right time to buy a laptop or a desktop. All right, now I really want to talk about that thing that you were going to talk about. Desktop or laptop because of the
Yes.
COVID thing. I want you to go first, though. Hit me.
I kind of always vote this
You're
way, but I
biased.
think, yeah,
You're
I
biased.
am. Yep.
Okay, try to be
I like
unbiased. Try again.
desktops. I'm pretty into desktops. And I think now would be the time to go in for a desktop.
You think so?
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, man, it's tough. Okay,
You're stuck
so
at home. If you've
yeah,
never built a computer before, you probably have time for projects. Whether or not you're able to fit in building a computer in that project, I don't know, but you probably have time for projects. You could dive into building a computer now. There's a bunch of nerds also stuck at home,
I could probably
and
help you.
if you have a phone, you would be able to show a like video of you could do a video call with someone and show like most people are for work and stuff
Yep.
these days, and show them exactly what's going on and get it fixed, no problem. I'm sure there's going to be no issue there, and then you'll have the premium experience during the duration of the quarantine. I
Yep.
think that's pretty cool.
I think that's fair. You're leaning a little bit to your right there.
Sorry,
There you
there we
go.
go.
Yep, that's a little better. Thanks, Luke.
But then I can also fully understand the argument of like, I need to get a computer for the home, but I won't really use it in my home once quarantine stuff is over. And having one that you could take with you to your work or to your school or wherever you need to go. So
That's
yeah,
why I'm torn. Because on the one hand, it is a great time to build a desktop. So we did a machine on live stream earlier today actually. I built a machine
yeah,
that let me just check the specs of it, but it was like
$800.
$800. They accidentally the RGB one was actually not included in the $800. Oops. So that was my bad. But hold on, let me just have a look here. Either way, that's a few bucks adder, and you don't have to buy that one if you don't want. So Ryzen 5 3600X. That is a 6-core processor with great performance. That is basically as high as you need to go to play any game on the market with any graphics card. I mean, you can go higher if you want, and then you can, video encode for days or whatever. But that is a great chip. Decent ASRock B450 board that supports everything you need, as long as you're not trying to run SLI or like, fancy 10 gigabit per second front panel USB or anything like that. It's got everything you really need. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. I think we put 2 sticks of these 8 gig DDR4 3200s in there. 512 gig M.2 SSD. The RTX 2060 KO. So that's the cool one that's using the same GPU as the 2070. And so has a bit better performance in compute applications. Decent case, 500 watt, 80 plus gold EVGA power supply. That is a good system for
Yeah,
$800. You could throw
and
a
like
cheap monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and you are ready to go for under $1,000. So that's fantastic because the reality of it is, I don't know what it is, but somehow laptops just seem to slow down over time, don't they?
oh
And
yeah,
there's nothing scientific that I can find to back up, to back it up. But like they were fast and then they feel slow. I don't get it. And they seem to die faster. Like that's been my experience with
they
them in general.
definitely die faster. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend is still using my old 2600K GTX 780 setup.
Oh, there's no way you're running a laptop from that era and having a good
No,
experience.
no, and her experience is totally fine.
Okay, but let me give you the counterpoint to that argument. Okay, let me just see. I just need to check pricing on this one real quick here. We also did a video this week on the Zephyrus G14. Let me just see if that one is up yet. Ryzen 7 second gen. Yeah, no, it looks like that particular model is not up on Newegg yet, unfortunately. But that's a laptop with a solid graphics card in it. Basically, desktop level gaming performance out of the CPU. Laptops have also come a long way in terms. So here, hold on. So RTX 2060, it's got the Ryzen 9 4900HS, which is just an unbelievable chip. 8 cores, 16 threads. It turbos up to 4.3 gigahertz, which on AMD's architecture is awesome. 512 gigs of storage, 14-inch display. You can get a high refresh rate one, so you can get a 120 hertz display. For what is more money, yes, that is a great experience. And if you hooked it up to an external monitor and you're willing to live that dongle life when you sit with it at your desk, there is so much high-speed I/O on a laptop these days that you can do basically whatever you want to do. I streamed WAN Show last week. It wasn't pleasant because I didn't have the ergonomics sorted out, but I streamed WAN Show last week with multiple sources off of an Ultrabook.
Yep.
And that was one that was only a 6-core, and it was an Intel one that's not as powerful as this new Ryzen processor, which is an 8-core, and you can get in like a slim laptop. There's something to be said for being able to take the performance with you. Yes, it's less on the go, and be able to use the same machine both at work and at home.
Absolutely. And in terms of dongle expansion, you could even just go with one of the like Amazon Basics desktop USB 3 expansion. I don't know, but it like powers itself through the wall. So it's able to deliver full power to all the USB ports. It's actually really nice, and it's like $30 or something. And then you don't actually really have to deal with all these short, kind of dangly, annoying dongles, because you can place that wherever you want.
And
Sorry?
Go ahead.
I think, yeah, if you have a very strong argument for the mobility of the computer down the line when we're out of quarantine, that's its own thing. I just think right now is especially a strong argument for building a desktop.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, the desktop is going to be more upgradable in the long term. It's just that we also happen to be going through a big leap forward in performance for notebooks at this very moment right now. So it's a good time to get a computer, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right.
Join all those crazy amount of people that have started playing computer games. The stats out of like Steam and Twitch and all this kind of stuff is crazy over the last few weeks.
Right now. Even I got a streaming setup. I want to stream some Anno this weekend. I've got like the key lights and everything. Like you can't see it. I look pretty crappy on your feed just because I've got a webcam at about 10 FPS. I'm moving my head back and forth, and Luke's feed looks hilariously bad. But I've got a DSLR that I'm using for the WAN Show. It actually looks, in my opinion, quite crisp.
I can see it on. I have the Twitch and Floatplane and YouTube streams all open because I'm on my desktop at home. It wouldn't matter because you could plug monitors into a laptop, whatever. Yes. Don't worry about it. But I have lots of monitor space, so I can just put everything everywhere.
And
it's great.
You know what? That's another thing too. Is like laptop I/O has come a long way. I talk a lot about how great Thunderbolt is, but you don't even need Thunderbolt. Like a USB 10 gigabit per second. That is a lot of data. You could have a couple of capture cards running off of a single one of those ports. No problem at all.